As Kelly has pointed out, well, there's no agreed upon single definition or arena for health diplomacy. It involves negotiating among people with very different interests and concerns in multiple arenas, we hope with the shared goals of better health. For the FDA, health diplomacy happens in formal and informal global and bilateral dialogues through developing trust and collaborative relationships and networks among regulatory agencies, and by fostering scientific collaboration and exchange that will support a regulatory workforce to keep pace with an increasingly dynamic supply chain. First, we participate actively in governance processes through multiple channels such as the World Health Assembly and bilateral arrangements. At the 2010 World Health Assembly, we witnessed an unprecedented focus on regulatory issues, from the food safety resolution, which passed unanimously, to the more contentious debate on counterfeit medicines, which resulted in the formation of an intergovernmental working group to delineate WHO and member states' roles within global public health context and identify appropriate and sustainable action. We also employ a number of binding and non-binding agreements, from letters of intent to memoranda of agreements and confidentiality arrangements, and we have over 100 such agreements with counterparts around the world, enabling us to share scientific knowledge, expertise, standards and regulations, and in some cases inspection or other non-public information. And through our foreign offices, FDA is building strong interpersonal and interorganizational working relationships with our counterpart agencies in country and with regulated industry. These relationships are necessary to build the trust that leads to collaborative institutional relationships. Second, we participate and support collaborative networks of scientists and regulators. This is done through multilateral harmonization efforts such as the International Conference on Harmonization, the Codex Alimentarius Commission, and the Veterinary International Conference on Harmonization. It also involves identifying ways to extend harmonization efforts by strengthening regulatory capacity through regional economic blocs such as SADC, the Southern Africa Development Community, the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation, and others, to maximize efficiencies and scale and optimize human resources and expertise. I think we're stuck here. Third, we want to pursue a more collaborative and interdisciplinary research in science that actually involves negotiating disciplines, paradigms, cultures, methodologies, and measurement across a wide range of product areas. And this is really where we see the critical role of universities in promoting collaboration among scientists with regulatory agencies. Stuck again. A fundamental need for collaboration is the development of the field of regulatory science, the science and tools we need to assess and evaluate a product's safety, efficacy, quality, and performance. We need to better position regulatory science within the broad biomedical research enterprise to ensure that research investments can translate into better treatment outcomes and health care for patients. And we need to promote collaboration among scientists globally. Recently, Dr. Hamburg visited Peking University during her trip to China and highlighted a long-standing relationship the FDA has there with their master's program in international pharmaceutical engineering. FDA's National Center for Toxicology Research also supports scientist exchange with NCTR staff, mentoring developing country scientists across a range of core competencies in research. And at the same time, building a fundamental understanding of regulatory functions into core public health curricula will help to bridge the gap between regulators and other public health professionals. So this won't be an unusual sight as the FDA members at a global health conference. And true to this panel's theme, competencies in health policy and negotiation will also be essential in advancing regulatory capacity in the growing complexity of arenas in which we work. So finally, we're asking ourselves a number of key questions as we go forward. And this is a very new area for the FDA. First of all, how can we work better to leverage our individual and collective efforts to avoid duplication? How can we share better and utilize data to make sound regulatory decisions? How can we apply risk-based approaches to all products to better target resources and maximize investments? And finally, how do we measure our impact? And in this nascent field-building effort, upstream data collection and analysis will be critical to charting paths for regulatory systems development. And we at FDA look forward to working with all of you along this very exciting new path. Thank you.